The intention of justice is to see that the guilty people are proven guilty and that the innocent are freed. Only we have a problem here.
So my sister and I decided to get together and discuss whether or not we think Wendi Adelson knew about the death of Dan Markel. Now, if you've been listening to me for a little while, you know that I've been asking for people to come on and chat with me that have different views or opposing views about topics that I care about and investigate. And in this case, my sister took the opinion as we started our discussion about Wendi Adelson that she thinks Wendi really didn't know about the death of Dan Markel, that Mom and Charlie kind of went behind her back.
Wendi would never have allowed. Wendi is not dumb. She would have wanted her hand in all of it. If she was really going to do this, I just don't see how that girl, right? Like, that's what I think. I don't think she's guilty of first-degree murder.
And as you will see, by the end, a really important question emerges about whether or not Wendi Adelson will ever be indicted.
Okay. I think that that they probably had some sort of family meeting, or Donna just went to Wendi and was like, bro, let's kill this dude, right? Like, long story short.
Okay.
Somehow, it's some sort, she was serious enough. And I think, and my feeling is Wendi is very smart.
She's very smart.
I think while Donna and Charlie don't really have like that, like self-awareness and sort of like like they're so in them, they're about themselves, they can't, right? I think Wendi knew. She's a lawyer, she's in law. I know she was around a lot of this information, like as far as she's in the crime world in some aspect, right?
Sure.
I think she knew that there was no way in hell that they would ever get away with it.
Absolutely.
And so and I think because of that,
you're right,
she probably turned a blind eye. And so Donna went to Charlie and was like, because Wendi would never have allowed. Wendi is not dumb. She would have wanted her hand in all of it. If she was really going to do this, I just don't see how that girl, right? Like, that's what I think.
My sister raises a very interesting and valid point, and it's the first time that I had really contemplated, if Wendi was involved, how might this whole crime have played out differently? Because there's no question that she's smarter than Charlie and Donna.
Like, I think she knew. So I think, and then obviously, listen, she knew immediately that it was them, whether she was in on it or not. From the set, when he was dead, she was like, my mother did it, like in her head.
Wait a minute. To the point where she was. Let's go back. We have to go back a second. So go back to this idea that she was very concerned about getting caught. I mean, that's for sure. She a week after he was killed, she changed her phone.
Okay. The two hitman, you think that she would have let Charlie just do it, take care of it with one of his girls and like gets like boobs and then it doesn't. No, I
don't think she knew that what he was doing.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I think Charlie was like, I'll take care of it.
Yes, so do. Right. But I think that there's no world where Wendi is just like not. I think at the end of the day, they've been fighting over these kids, right? I don't think that there's a world where she thought it was worth it. I don't think she looked at it the way that like Donna and Charlie did. That's why Wendi and Harvey are like, were they in on it or not? Well, they're also kind of like the more reasonable, rational family members.
Well, let's look at this. Let's take a pause. So one of the things that I got, oh God, this is so complicated, but okay. So what came up for me and the conflict that I don't do a very good job of explaining that I'm having as my sister's talking about how smart Wendi is and how she wouldn't have approached it this way is that in Jeff Lacasse's testimony and interviews with the police, He makes it clear that Wendi was very unstable psychologically, that she had been drinking a lot, so that it would be quite possible Wendi was not in her right frame of mind while all of this decision-making about the murder of Dan Markel is taking place.
Describing Wendi as a pathological liar and a mentally ill narcissistic sociopath in a semi-joking manner, but
to you?
To other people. I just heard that through the grapevine. Because people said, be careful with Wendi. She's a little unbalanced. And I said, well, she seems upset about her divorce, but I don't know if she's unbalanced. I didn't take it seriously at the time. It sounds extreme, right? I thought these two people were having a nasty divorce. He's calling names. I thought it was totally out of line. It's one of the reasons I was upset with him. Because you see in the court documents, I mean, he got sick of her and really went after her legally in a really aggressive way, and not knowing the background. I thought it was inappropriate, I thought it was taking things too far to try to disbar your ex-wife, But one impression I'm left with is, I don't think I said this before, like in December or January, I thought that was totally out of line. By May, I don't know if those are technically the correct words, but by May, I knew exactly what he was talking about. And this is a very troubled person, Wendi Adelson, deeply troubled person. And at first, she's gorgeous, she's smart, she's funny. I fell for this girl like a ton of bricks. Most men would. That was one of the reasons I stuck around too long. But just an overall impression of her. And Danny says this in court documents, actually. She's a very manipulative person, a pathological liar. Wendi was an alcoholic while I was with her. She drank her dinner most nights. Extremely fragile, extremely depressed. Many, many nights sitting, hated Tallahassee so much that thought we're a bunch of country bumpkins and we liked Tallahassee because she's from Miami. Didn't hide that fact. Thought it was bizarre that I moved here from Phoenix. And the two conversations that we had every single day for 9 months were, Danny is an evil monster, and Tallahassee is the worst place in the world to live, and I can't believe I got stuck here because of Danny Markel. And she was obsessed with those two concepts. So I got really tired of hearing that, but I heard that every day for 9 months. Wendi's very manipulative in that she plays the victim very, very easily. Whenever we got into a confrontation, she'd pour me. Very sensitive that I work with DV victims, women that have been raped as a social worker, all that kind of stuff. So I'm a sensitive Mr. Rogers kind of guy. So it was a very, easy way to manipulate me, or Markel, for that matter. But she just wasn't stable, even in the fall, and able to cover it up here or there. One of these people, the first 100 hours you spend with her, you think she's amazing. 101 on, you're like, shit, what did I get myself in? Then after that, wait a second, there's some tremendous flaws here. So she puts up a very good public face as this accomplished, beautiful, smart, funny woman. I was with her 4 or 5 nights a week for 7 or 8 months total, I would say. More in the spring than the fall. And she was deeply troubled. She was on psychiatric medications, and in March she decided to come off of those.
March of 14?
March of 14. Spring break, Immokalee, actually, that's when she went off them. And this will make sense to why this matters. I don't want to give you BS or all that information, but she's already a sensitive person, so much that, you couldn't say to her, like, hey, I'd appreciate it if you'd be a little more considerate to me. You're being kind of, she'd break down crying for 2 hours. She would throw a tantrum. I've never seen anything like it. Anybody I've ever dated, I've dated some pretty crazy women. So, but then when she went up there to SRIs, it went from being fragile to being, she had no resilience. She would just melt down in an absolute second.
For over what?
Anything. Any kind of criticism.
Oh, if you had given her criticism.
Or anybody did. Anything negative. I've seen her lose her shit over, cake going bad in the oven, and she's devastated for 6 hours. So, fast forward to April, she's coming off this SRIs, her behavior is...
Coming what?
Coming off the antidepressants.
Okay.
So, I study that. That's my area. I study psychiatric medications.
Right.
So
I just got to be able to explain it. If this ever goes anywhere else, I got to be explained so I understand it and the layperson can understand.
I understand. So yeah, she's coming off psych meds, but she's doing that against my advice. Not with the help of a clinician. You're supposed to go to a doctor, have him help you get off. She did not do that. And she was dropping her dosage very, very rapidly, which is usually recommended to take some time and go slow. She was on a very high dose of Lexapro, like double the normal dose. And so in this time period, one of the reasons I stuck around, even though it was so crazy, was I thought it might be a passing thing because I thought she was having withdrawal effects. Some of the physical ones like dizziness and stuff like that. But sometimes people's behavior gets really weird in that, so you give them a break while they're coming off. So I was giving her a break.
What is the Lexapro for?
It's for depression.
Depression.
She was diagnosed as depressed. And her dad, the dentist, was writing her scripts to what she shouldn't be doing to help her come down the dosage, because you want to switch to the liquid so you can slowly go down. But she ignored all my advice. I was constantly, you may have seen this in the emails if you looked at it, I was constantly cautioning her, texting her saying you need to go slow, slow, slow. I made her get a therapist. I said, I'm not going to even talk to you about this unless you at least have somebody you're talking to that can monitor your mental health, because I saw she was just spinning out of control. And she wasn't that controlled to begin with, but it was getting worse. Her drinking was really increasing in April. And she had times where she's just losing her mind. I mean, with the kids in the house, drinking a bottle and a half of wine by herself, falling down in the bathroom, bruises. I flew to a trip to Chicago. When I came back, I had to go right from the airport to the house because she was just doing so poorly. So she was just not well. So it just felt strange. These are just my impressions, but it's like, what is going on? To give you an example, I would just be kissing Wendi, and all of a sudden she's like, like a porn star. I've been with a lot of women. Women don't behave like, it's just, and we've been together 9 months. I've never seen this before. It's like
Brand new behavior?
Yeah, brand new behavior. I'm going, what's going on? All of a sudden she wants me to, it just didn't make any sense. It was just really strange, erratic behavior.
She wants you to what, though?
Well, I was threatening to leave at this point.
Okay.
So, and I guess if I'm putting on my cop show hat, I'm wondering if it would have looked weird if you break up with your boyfriend and then a week later someone gets shot. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Charlie did look into having
Danny killed last summer. It would cost about $15,000. And that's not exactly word for word, but that's pretty close to what she said. I wish to God I had followed up. But how do you respond to that? What do you say?
What did you say?
I changed the subject to us. I was interested in working our relationship out.
Did she ever bring that up again?
No. Never again. But what worries me is that the speech pattern, I'm not trying to play FBI profiler here, but it's kind of similar to when she would say, Daniel Sack and I had coffee yesterday. Well, that means her and Daniel Sack had sex all day. That's what that means. That's how she lies. So the fact that she would leak a little bit of it out scares me.
Which is kind of like, I told you half a truth instead of half a lie.
That's how she lies. That's exactly. I'm sure you've done that on it anyway. So it doesn't have the impulse control just to say nothing in high-stress situations, but it gives you this half-assed version.
One of the things that I started to understand from Jeff Lacasse, right? And when I first heard about Jeff, I thought he was a jaded lover who at that point was scorned, right?
Movie on a broken television that was distorted enough that you could follow what was happening, but the kids are whining and crying the whole time. And I wasn't whining or crying exactly, but I was tempted to because it was pretty frustrating.
That's why, to me, I've never taken his testimony with as much weight as people are now, because to me, he came off kind of skittish.
I got a couple. Can I give you a couple other things?
But just slow for me, please.
Just googly-eyed for Wendi. I mean, it's all he's just.
Yes, but that's important. So first off, I wouldn't even listen to his testimonies. I don't think I have. I've only listened to the two
interrogation.
Interviews. Yeah, the first one, which was days later, right?
Yeah.
He's totally in love with her at that point. Obsessed with her. But that's important because he's so conflicted. He wants to be with her. So anything that he's saying, he doesn't want to say. He doesn't want to tell them about Charlie.
Right.
And he's I want protection because I don't want this to come back on me. And he says he's worried about Charlie, but he's really worried about Wendi finding out that he told on her family.
Yeah, no, right? I think that, totally. I think he's worried about that too. But I think at the same time, he was just, I'm just saying it was hard for me to take, I think everything he's saying was honest or whatever, but he was just so
he is. You have to
and
be cautious about how
he's a
much.
tough one for me. Like,
But
so that's where I
there's
go with
3
him.
things with this that are so important. One, Wendi drinks.
Okay.
And
Fair
I
enough.
think Wendy's probably, when you look at her now, like the puffy eyes, she's not heavy. She didn't gain a bunch of weight. She's puffy now, right? That's an alcohol face to me.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't blame her.
No, obviously, but I think he was saying that she was drinking so much he would find her like with bruises from falling in the bathroom when he was with her. Okay.
Okay.
Before Dan Markel was dead.
Okay.
So that's number 1.
And she was never happy with him. She didn't want to marry him because she told her mom that she wasn't attracted to him. He was like a great man, but she didn't like
Dan.
Yeah.
Dan. Oh, no, I know. But that's why I'm bringing this up. Because I think Wendi, this is really complicated. Like when you have an oppressive parent like that, right? One of the things that makes you distinctly different from Wendi, and it's something I've always admired in you that I don't even think you know, or maybe you're more plagued by, but from the time you were little, you've always had a strong ego strength, like a strong sense of self. From the time you were little, it was one of the biggest challenges as a child because you would be like demanding that your needs get met. And I'd be like in the corner, like, I'm okay, like hiding because I just wanted everybody to be happy
To be okay.
and not bother anybody. And you were like, I'm fucking hungry, bro, and like screaming and yelling. Like, you'd go to school wearing whatever you wanted, like no matter what anybody else was doing. Like,
I
you
didn't
just
care,
were like on your own trip always. Right. And I was not like that. I mean, I had a lot of, I'm not saying that I didn't have friends. I mean, I did, but like, I was always aware of everything.
Yeah.
Everybody else's feelings, everybody else's thoughts and needs. And I think Wendi didn't have a self because when you have somebody like Donna and she's like,
I know, but
pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, right? Which is understandably what that feels like. But I think she gave in. I think Wendi was like the perfect princess child to mom, which is why, like she said, my mom, the proudest thing my mom ever was that I made it a virgin through high school. Even though I was valedictorian in my class, her mother was the most proud of her for making it through high school a virgin. Okay. Like I'm telling you, this was like a prince. She was like Princess Wendi, right? And I think she became a performer because she had to bury her needs in order to be perfect all the time, right?
Yeah, definitely. I see that totally.
Right. And that's where like a substance abuse problem can take fire because if you have that base and then you introduce substances, you feel a tremendous amount of relief and then they become more attractive. But here's the problem with that. So you get drunk and then you call that boy up who likes you and you're like, come over. And then you like hang out with that
Wendi
boy.
too, right?
Right.
I can see that.
And that's what she was doing. Like she was like living her life, and I think probably still is in that. That's why she had 7 guys, right?
Yeah.
Because one day this guy, next day this guy, she's just looking for something because she's got like that big hole of like, I'm lost, right?
Yeah.
So I think you are absolutely right in that.
Like, do you, so I kind of could see it being like, okay, if Donna's like, whatever, this is happening, and she's like, what, fine, do what you got to do, or something like.
Right. Yes.
You know, I could see that happening, and then, but I just.
But I think she
knows. I think she knows so much. Like, yes. Do I think that she, I think, is there any world though where like you don't. How like it's so hard to. I don't know. I'm saying, listen, I don't know if they have any more evidence that they're not showing us, but it scares me that so many people think I just don't see how there's no way she should go to jail for first-degree murder.
Well, here's
with the evidence that I have seen, which is what
I think
we've
the
all
state
seen.
has a real problem though, because they've given her
So much immunity for her testimony.
Right.
I know.
So how does that work? Like if they gave her immunity, that means that they can't then go back and say, well, now we've changed our minds. You said this, but really you did this. They can't hold it against her, right?
Right.
So that
They
means
can't.
like what are they going to bring against her? They basically in all those trials they asked all of the stuff that we're pointing
Yeah.
out to say there's the evidence, there's the
Right.
circumstantial evidence. Well, you can't arrest her then for those things.
I think that they aren't gonna, honestly.
I think
they're not
they
gonna.
probably aren't going to.
And I think that they're gonna let the kids, I think that the trauma that this is gonna be on those two boys, imagine, and then in the end, then their mom goes away too. And then what? Where do they go?
Harvey.
And yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know. I don't think that.
I hope
think
they
that
don't go
they're.
after him. I really do. I really
Me
do.
too. I don't think that they should at
They
all.
should.
I think he should just like go to Vietnam by himself. Just
Right,
like,
let
get
him
the
go.
fuck away. Like, yeah, let him go.
Let him go.
Let him go. You know, what's he gonna do? Just sit around and be with her? Donna, wait around for her phone call and listen to her? Why was this woman so surprised that she was convicted?
We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Mrs. Adelson, control yourself.
Like, what was
Because
that
they're
about?
narcissists. That's why Charlie was so surprised too. Charlie was like shocked.
Yeah, I know. I don't get it. I mean, but at least with Charlie, we didn't already have a Charlie conviction.
Yes. Well, you're right. No, you're right. Yes, you're right.
Oh,
This
no.
time around, it was so obvious. I mean, and also I thought his lawyers were much better.
Oh my God,
than
yeah.
Donna's.
Oh God, Donna. I was like, what?
What was
Dude,
wrong with
really?
those lawyers? I couldn't believe it.
All the money they have, and this is what they come up with?
I couldn't believe it either. I couldn't believe
I
it.
couldn't figure out which one was worse.
I know. They were so
It was really
bad.
bad. If she had the right lawyers, it could have been an incredible trial. It really
You're right.
could have. But it was weird. It was just, yeah. It was
They
weird.
were right from the gate. Like when the opening statement was about how wonderful Dan Markel was, I was like, oh, this is not good.
Not good. Yeah, no. This
Not
isn't
good. You know,
No.
today, how great he is. Tomorrow, Donna's trying to parade his children in Nazi uniforms just to piss him off. Like, yeah, they were not, obviously they should not have been together. It was very obvious that she should not have married him. And the funny and ironic thing is like, she married him in large part because of Donna, right? Because on
Yeah.
paper, he was like Donna's dream guy.
Yeah. She
You know?
did, like, it sounds like she really did, because she wasn't attracted to him. It was just, yeah, he was like this
The
great
right guy to
but-
marry, right? He was like,
Yeah.
got to get married.
Yeah. I feel like if she was the one that put this plan together, if she was the mastermind, that
Right.
it would have been a totally different plan.
Well, that's true. No, I agree with you there. I do not think that I think she was doing was manipulating her brother essentially to do it for her, although it was all very implicit, not explicit. Something happened during the dad's
Okay.
70th.
And by the way, while she's in South Florida, she is completely miserable. She gets depressed, she gets anxious, and she's got her baggage. But even though we didn't have much contact, I never heard her as bad as she was this trip to South Florida. I mean, this blew up her world.
And how do you know she was in a bad place?
Just because when we talked, she was just...
So she did call you like
Yeah,
later
yeah.
on.
14 days, I got 3 phone calls. But they were really... I'm a clinician. She doesn't sound good clinically. I mean, she sounded really bad. I was worried about her, actually. I didn't think she was a suicide risk, but I thought she was really depressed is what I thought was going on. And she hates Tallahassee. I mean, I'm sure that you've heard that already. She does not want to be here. And I was the one thing that was kind of her anchor here, and boom. So
Really dramatic.
Yeah.
And the family saw her, and according to her ex, she was the worst he had ever seen her while she was in Miami for that 2 weeks for dad's 70th. So to me, that's why I said, okay, that probably expedited it.
Yeah.
And she had to know the date. Like they all knew when, which is weird, right? Because that's something that just gets overlooked in all these trials.
I was trying to figure that out too, because I'm like, okay, I'm trying to think in my mind, she's covering her ass because I see it as like something she knows about, but didn't check off, didn't sign off on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
That's
what I
kinda how
thought
look at
too.
it. That's what I mean when I'm like,
That's where I was in the beginning.
and I could see how, I can understand how having a mother that's so insistent on it, right? That
Right.
and then when and it's really hard. Like I think about up until I would say 25, I would do anything that my mother told me to do.
Right.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Pretty much. Like if she did, thankfully she didn't do anything too dumb, and I didn't, but
Right.
and
I might have been vulnerable to something that stupid.
Yeah. That was how I was able to delving into Casey Anthony. And I remember when it was happening, and mom just being like, "Oh, she's guilty, she killed." And I'm thinking, and so I disagree with her. Now looking back, I think she's completely innocent. I
don't know anything about the Casey Anthony story.
Okay. But I regardless, what I'm saying, so the way I got there was because I was like, you know what? It all delves with the relationships from their parents that they're involved. And
of course.
It's like, dude, I just don't see it. There's a lot of if that happened to us and mom murdered dad, you don't think that everybody would assume that I would have known something?
This is me interrupting your programming to remind you to like this video. Like the video.
So it kind of puts you in a position, whether you do or not, that
yes. But
I guess I'm saying because they're supposed to be innocent till proven guilty. So I'm trying. This is me giving Wendy the benefit of the doubt in that aspect.
All right. Okay. So wait,
I just don't think that they all got together and were because they're not. At least one of them. They're not dumb, dude. I'm sorry. Charlie's a fucking dentist. I mean,
I know, but the thing that you're not factoring in, I'm telling you, it cannot be overstated.
Because I'm really trying to
see. He is a fundamental. Charlie Adelson is a textbook narcissist.
No, he's the worst. He's
very nice.
He killed someone for his
and he doesn't, and he
sister.
Does not apologize for it.
No, he doesn't.
He really doesn't. He does not care that Dan Markel is dead.
No, he doesn't.
A second.
No, he doesn't.
Part of that is he doesn't think he did anything wrong, number one. And number two, that's because he's Charlie Adelson.
Yeah.
He never calculated the possibility. In his mind, it was well, I'll just say it was extortion. See, because for me, the fact that these guys didn't get paid until after, I couldn't get past for a while.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that's not, when you hire someone for a murder, the way that you know that you're hiring them is you give them money.
You give them money first, of course.
Even if it's $1,000, you give them
something.
money.
Yeah, something.
Right? And they didn't get any money.
Yeah.
Right? So I was really stuck on that. But then I realized that's also probably what Charlie Adelson was counting on, because then it's extortion. Then you can say it's extortion.
Can you know what I can't get past, which I cannot understand, is when they rented the car, they both used their real names.
They're not the smartest guys.
I mean, but come on, dude. You don't.
No,
how could Charlie not, or someone, or Catherine, been don't use your name? Don't they know?
I don't think they were communicating.
Dude. It was I understand. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think that they were talking. So that's what I want to show you. I want you to watch this with me, and I want you to tell me how you make sense of this. So I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm just going to play it and watch it and just listen closely.
Where?
In the river.
On the way back to South Florida?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that where y'all went when you left Tallahassee?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you turn your cell phones back on?
I think we turned them on right away, I think.
After leaving Tallahassee?
Yeah. If I remember, I really don't remember, but it got turned on.
Sometime after the murder, they got turned back on?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember who made the first phone call out of the two of you?
I didn't make no phone call. He did.
Who did he call?
I think he called Katie. Well, he called Katie. He called Katie. He called Katie.
He called Katie. And were you able to hear that conversation with Katie?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was that conversation?
He told her everything was done. She's like, I know, and where the money.
Okay, let me back you up just a little bit. How did she know it was done?
I think she got a phone call right away before we did.
All right, but somehow she indicated she knew.
Yes.
All right. And you asked about the money. Did you personally ask about the money, or was that Garcia?
That's Garcia.
What did she say about the money?
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
First question is, do you believe him? Generally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I do too.
I believe him.
I do too. So if he's telling the truth and remembering correctly, how would Katie McBanoa already known about the murder of Dan Markel if the hitmen immediately turned their phones on after they were leaving town after the murder?
I see what you're saying.
I mean, I don't have the answer, but I
Do
only
you
have
think that
one theory.
that Wendy knew because she was there? She saw it. She drove by.
She would have been. She's the only
I don't
one.
know how much I believe, but I don't know. I mean, that conversation I could take very differently, like as far as like the jury's concerned, like from that perspective.
Well, but I'm asking you.
He's like, yeah, I know, right? So, but then that's how I think of it. So I'm thinking like he says, yeah, I know, and she's like, yeah, I know. Like maybe she's just like, I know because I know that's what you're doing, or I know that's why
you're right. You're right. That's true.
And then he's on the stand just being like, I don't know, somebody told her, like one of these people. Like he doesn't.
No, he doesn't know. Clearly, he doesn't know why she would say, I already know.
Yeah, so it's not that. So I believe him. I think he's credible, but I also think he's
not right.
He's just he's just kind of like
whatever.
He just wants to get through it too. So he's just probably also like trying to please Georgia by answering questions. She's like, yeah, I know, whatever. Like what?
She's leading him a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Does that conversation go any further, or is it just, yeah, I know, bye? I don't get it.
Right. Well, that they go on to talk about like the money because that's what they care about, right?
Right. I just feel like I can see her sort of like this. Lewis is sort of more of like a submissive sort of situation, and I feel like so I don't know. I could see her just being like,
dumbass. I know why you guys are there. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, you might be right. But then the next question I have is, why is Wendi on Trescott?
She said it was because
I know what she said.
Okay.
I'm asking. I know what she said.
Right.
I'm asking
you. Okay. Well, same thing. I put myself in her shoes.
Okay.
Now, while she's not in like a hometown or like she was, that she's in a place that she's familiar with now, maybe she's comfortable, but doesn't know the rest of the area around it. Maybe it's just like a route she's comfortable with, like she said.
No, I hear you. Can I show you the map?
Yes.
So here is the map.
Okay.
So here's Wendi right here. This little marker here.
Okay.
The flag is the restaurant.
Okay.
This is 3 miles from her house to the flag. This right here is a main road, and there are alleged to be 3 liquor stores. I can't validate for sure because I don't live in Tallahassee. So, okay. Wendi goes 13 miles, okay, out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And the shortcut that she's talking about, is here. So I'll show you the shortcut. Let me close up.
I think I see it.
No, you don't, because it's actually not a shortcut.
Oh, okay. I see
It's actually a long cut.
Oh,
all right. So here's Trescott. It's this is his house, or her house. This is Trescott. So like you're talking about Hillside, right?
Yep.
So what she says is she's coming down here. She's coming down Centerville Road.
Okay.
And Trescott is here. She makes the right on Trescott. She says she goes to make the right on Trescott. What she does is she's driving down Centerville there because she's driving down.
Okay.
And then she goes to make the right onto Trescott, and she tells us there's crime scene tape, right? And she sometimes she says that she does like a K-turn at the crime scene tape and turns around. Other times while testifying, she says that she just saw the tape and kept going. To investigators the day of, to the cops when it happened, she says she turned down Trescott, went to the crime scene tape, and then turned around. But later on, as the story evolves, it changes. And just so you understand, well, okay. So she said, I'll tell you that in a minute. So she says she goes through Trescott, right? But actually, this adds 2 minutes to the trip. So the shortcut is not a shortcut. It is a back road.
Okay.
Right. So it's not shorter. It is a back road. These are 2 main roads.
Maybe she was
Bend and
drinking.
Centerville.
Maybe she was drinking.
That is possible.
Maybe
That
she
is
was
possible.
drinking.
However, she shows up at the restaurant, and she was at the police station later on that day. You would think that might be visible.
That's true.
You're not
That's
wrong.
true. But
You're not wrong.
yeah.
She might have
I
been
don't know.
drinking. Okay, so, but that's the route. Now, she also, now you can do the drive, and what you see is when you actually do the drive, is that it's a very long drive. So the way she talks about it in her testimony is like, she's just like, so this is Trescott. She's coming down Centerville. Right now, we're about to make the turn. This reminds me of when we were at.
Okay.
I know, right?
And she
I know,
couldn't
me too.
turn
I
on
was
the
just thinking that.
Right. So, okay. So we're going to make the turn in a second here. I just played it, but
And they're
without
going
the sound.
They're going to show where
We're going to drive it. Here we go.
Okay.
So we're making the right here. Now she makes it sound like this is where you meet the tape.
Okay.
You have to go through 5 speed bumps. So it's not a road you're going to fly through. Like it's a curvy road. You're probably going 20 miles an hour. This is not a shortcut. Because the whole premise of a shortcut is that it's going to take less time. And actually she adds like 35 minutes to this trip.
Okay. But
it's literally like without traffic from her house to the restaurant is like a 7-minute drive. Not even. It's like 5 minutes.
I feel you. But to me, I could explain this away.
I could explain it away. No, I'm not saying that. I am smart enough to explain it away.
Yeah, no, I understand.
But I also think
it's
Wendi
sketchy.
Adelson counts on the fact that people are going to believe her.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, okay. I guess I just that's not something to me that would be more like I need
they have to all go together. You have to add these things together.
Right, exactly. And that's why I'm like, dude, there's no, of course I think she knew about it, but I just don't see how she would have thought in any way, shape, or form signing off on all this activity she would have there's no way she would she had to be aware of the type of person her mother was, that this woman isn't getting away with it. I just feel I don't know. Wendi seems like that's what I can't wrap my head around is I feel like even if they did bring it up to her, regardless, I think she just did not think it was worth it.
You're saying you think she would be too anxious about getting caught.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Yep. Absolutely.
Right.
And she was, and I think she's aware of that whenever it was
she's certainly
presented.
Smarter than the other two. Yes.
Yeah. And I think she doesn't want to go to jail.
But I think I think the way that Charlie would have handled that is to be like, don't worry, little sis, I got you.
Yeah. I think that you're probably right. I think it was brother to the rescue, but
that's why he didn't throw her under the bus.
Right. Yeah. I think that they were trying to keep her out of it.
They were trying to say, don't worry, little sis, I'm going to take care of you now.
Right. And then she fucked
up because she went to the crime scene is what I think happened.
Oh, okay. Because she was curious. And
she was curious.
Okay, but how would she have even known?
Charlie calls her
and is
he calls her for 7 minutes.
Oh, he does when?
Oh, that morning.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, you knew that because they have a whole exchange about the TV. Remember, there's a whole thing.
Yeah. Okay.
She says she calls him because she needed to know about whether or not it was worth it to pay for the Geek Squad to come.
Yeah.
And she didn't know how much he paid for the TV, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I
she
remember.
says
and
that
she
has
was
a
acting like
conversation.
because she was acting like they knew everything about the TV. I don't know. They right?
Yes,
Like
right.
he would know because
That's
they
right, because
got him
he
the
bought
TV.
it for her, and the mother had the
Right.
warranty.
Now this is the TV instead of the hitman.
Yes.
Right. So
And she tells the
so I think that maybe the TV and the hit and the hit are like related. Maybe then like the TV itself has something to do
oh,
with
that's
it.
interesting. Like the TV itself, like
Is some sort of hard way of they've been using to communicate this whole time.
well,
to
that's what
communicate this hit the whole
Charlie
time.
talks about that actually.
I think the jury could grasp a hold of, between that and the TV, they had two things that were coincidences that you really don't have explanations for. Yeah. And it was and it came up the day of the murder and the day of the bump. Why is everybody talking TV talk? And the TV joke ties it all in. 1, 2, 3. And then she's showing up at the scene of the crime. I mean, I had somebody ask me that, like, a couple of years ago. It's like, did that really happen? Like, I go, trust me. Like, nobody did. Like, she showed up. They're like, man, that's like 1 in a million. Yeah. And I go, yep. So you mean to tell me 1 in a million you're right, the other 1 in a million you're innocent? Even if you say it's 1 in 10,000, now you're starting off the debate saying, listen, 1 in 10,000 times I'm right. All right, you want to bet I'm right on this one? You can't. You can't. Once somebody in their head says, if that's really her explanation, what are the fucking chances? That's near impossible for me to conceptualize.
My theory being she was brought this a part of it, but was like, no, I want nothing to do with this. There's no way we're going to get away with this, whatever. And they decide they're going to go through with it anyways. But they tell her. Charlie decides to tell her once it's in motion, like maybe, you know what I'm saying?
You're
like,
exactly right. That's exactly
just
right.
because he has to, because he's Charlie.
And because he wants to make sure.
And he also wants to make sure she's safe, probably.
Exactly.
And
she's
isn't
not
involved, isn't
correct.
around. Yeah.
That, to me, was the absolute definitive way that I knew for sure she knew.
Yeah.
Charlie had to tell her.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think she did know.
She knew.
Yeah.
I think you're right. She was not involved in the planning.
Yeah, I think that she really didn't want to sign off on that. I really believe that. I think she hated Dan Markel.
She hated him.
Yeah. I think that the name change was stupid. What?
So stupid.
What? What was that? I can't wrap my head around that.
That was Donna, I think.
Me too. But either way,
I mean, they started changing the name while he was
and
alive.
there's like more. Yeah, there's like all this other stuff. Like it's like they were literally trying to erase.
They were trying to erase him from the kids.
Yeah, like she really. But he was going after her though. He went
He
hard.
did. Oh, and he was coming at her again. I mean, he was about to go after her for the money. And apparently it was very legit. Like he had a legitimate case this time that she really did lie on the financial statements for the divorce. Like he discovered that she hid $400,000.
Right. That's right.
That it was like inheritance money or so. I don't know exactly what it was.
Yeah. And then there was whatever. It was something that really pissed him off, whatever it was.
It pissed him off. And it was the ring that really pissed him off. His grandfather or grandmother was a Holocaust survivor, and it was her wedding ring.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wendy had.
I don't think I knew that.
Dan wanted it back.
And she would give it back.
He was like, you, no way.
Yeah.
No, and he was so upset about it. It was like a family heirloom.
It got bad with both of them, but
it got mean. Like, they're mean. They're mean. And you and I both know, and we don't have to talk about it, but you and I both know what that kind of mean can look like. And I understand that. So I understand. Like you, I understand this situation. And I could see how it could happen with normal people that are skew crazy, but are still normal, right?
Yeah.
The problem is, I think she knew. And
I do
think
too.
Charlie told her.
I think she knew too, but
think she knew the night before because she did change her Facebook picture.
Yeah, no, yeah, that had some validity to it for me, like watching it years later, because I always took Lacoste
I know, but
like
he's
testimony at first because he was just such a skitter sketchball.
I'm with you. I didn't listen. Jackie, I
didn't
wrote him off completely.
Yeah, really? Like so
I did.
Really kind of, I mean, I don't know. I believed that like he intently was like, yo, it was the family. Like he was the one that revealed, like, to me, like, yeah, Wendy said some stuff, but he was the one that I think
Charlie is definitely in on it.
Yeah, like, yes, totally.
I would say is just generally, the family desperately wants her back in South Florida.
When you say the family, are you meaning mom and dad and grandma and grandpa? Who do you mean by family?
People that live in South Florida, yeah, mother, father, and she has a brother. So the 3 people down in South Florida that...
What's your brother's name?
Charlie Adelson. He's a dentist. He's a dentist and he's very wealthy, but he kind of hangs out with people from both sides of the tracks. And, he goes partying in South Beach with his rich buddies, and he also goes to his gym with some other kinds of characters kind of thing. So
some less savory individuals?
I think so.
Oh my God, he's doing exactly what I would have been doing, analyzing these people's soup to nuts.
Yeah, totally. Like, and he was so into her.
I don't know if you met Wendy.
Not personally.
Oh, very charismatic and very good at. Once you date this way, just do anything for her. I'm not the only man that's been under her thumb in that way. I mean, she really has this charisma and this sexuality, and so you throw yourself in front of a bus for this girl. This is a new kind of thing for me.
He did. He loved her. He was in love with her.
Yeah, she probably was like putting on him in the bedroom too, like.
Yeah, and he talks about that.
Yeah. Yeah, like
watch the second interrogation, which is like in March. First one is like days later, but then there's another one where he's like more removed, but he's still close, but more removed. And then he's willing to say more because now he knows Wendy isn't coming back to him.
Right.
And also they talk again. So I didn't know that. I thought the last he had spoken to her was right before Dan's death, but actually they reconnect.
It was after?
They reconnect after, and they become friends. And she like swears 50 times on a phone call. She's like, I didn't kill him. I had nothing to do with this. I swear to you, Jeff, I had nothing to do with this. And in the same call, she's telling him, I switched the hardware. I switched my cell phone, not my phone number, but my cell phone because I'm afraid it's being bugged. This was like 4 or 5 days after he died.
Yeah, I think that all too is not credible. Like obviously if you were her and let's say some asshole at work was the one that killed him.
Yeah.
I would think, oh my God, I'm going to jail for the rest of my life. They're going to think it was me. Like under the same circumstances that she was in.
Sure. But it is sketchy, though, that she says something. That whole thing is very shady. So you saw that on the countdown. I don't know if you saw it, but the one where this was really shady for me, where she says on the testimony, and I think in the interview,
she says it over and over.
Well, but she does say over and over, but also she acts like she's surprised to learn he got shot in the interrogation room. That, like, she says they told her later after the fact in the car, but the cops tell her, they say that they only told her in that moment that we see.
Okay, so that is what I wanted to ask you about before. This is a huge moment for me with Wendy.
Yep.
When they tell her and they're in the interrogation room and they're sitting there, like she sits down and she's like intently, like, she's like, and they tell her, like, if you, like, her chest, like, is the way that she's breathing and the way her chest is moving, to me was so, like, indicative of, like, oh my God, what is he about to tell me?
Oh, interesting. Well, I don't think, so you have to remember who we're talking about. Like, Wendi Adelson remember those letters from Mom? You can be a good actress. Jibbers hasn't beaten the Adelsons yet.
Yeah.
Like, Wendy was valedictorian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, to me, she's masterful at masking. Masterful.
And I guess the important thing about that meeting is it seemed to, like, shatter her. She's so fragile, and she wants to be seen as this moral, ethical person. She's a friggin' humanitarian on the web, right? I mean, human trafficking and social work. And all
The what now?
She's like a humanitarian if you look her up on the web. You know, she wants to be seen as this ethical, loyal person.
Okay.
And she couldn't handle it, so she like lost her shit in a way I just want to say I've never seen. She sobbed, but the next morning she sobbed all the way from Gainesville to Tallahassee, and I was upset, but it was.
But I thought, and you're just going to have to bear with me as far as I thought that after I can see that she's in this fetal position, she's demoralized, whatever, and then I thought she snaps right out of it and says, I had a great time.
That's what concerns me. Is I used to work in a psych hospital. I've seen this kind of stuff before. It's a good question. She was vacillating between, it was crazy. 1 minute confessing, literally telling me I wanted to sexually experiment with people, I wasn't ready, this kind of stuff. The next minute, I never did that. I mean, it was like insane.
Contradicting what she just said?
Absolutely. And on the way back up, she goes, I never did any of that. I said, well, you confessed to me like 7 different times last night. I did not. It was crazy.
Okay.
Absolutely insane. So if it doesn't make sense, I understand, because it didn't make sense. When I was talking to her about that, I was struck by how cold and callous and basically sociopathic she was. Here I am, I was crying, I was very upset, and I said, you're not a sociopath, you must feel bad about this on a certain level. And she goes, I don't know if I'm a sociopath, I don't feel bad about any of this. And she was laughing and describing some of the experiences she'd had with other men, actually. She was making it clear they were very enjoyable and stuff like that. I've never seen that from men. I've never seen that from a woman before. It was...
What kind of... I
said, there was this one night where you said you were at book club. I know you weren't at book club. She's like, I was pretty drunk that night. I had a really good time that night.
Yeah.
She knows exactly what people want from her.
I believe that, too. I think she's doing it. Even like watching
on
her
the
testimony.
stand.
Oh, my God. I was like... I watched it so many times. I watched everything. Because I'm like, dude, I want to know what, her role is now, because I really believed it I just wrote it off. I was like, she just had nothing to do with that, and everybody else did this for her. But now that we've gotten to see in so much more in depth, and so much more has gone on and gotten so much more information.
And to me, it's Charlie. It's Charlie's character that just makes it impossible for her not to know, because he had to tell her.
But as far as seeing stuff pertinent to the crime, I met her brother Charlie when I was down there in Miami for Immokalee. You may recall that I said I found him to be a very strange person, very aggressive, verbally. He takes sex tourism trips to South America to have sex with underage prostitutes.
Wait a minute, back up a second.
Yeah, he takes sex tourism trips to South America to have sex with underage prostitutes.
Sex tourism?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, South America.
I'm kind of a sheltered guy.
Well, I was shocked not only that he would tell people he did that, but that he would tell his younger sister. That was strange to me. Very odd. And there's this odd dynamic between them. The whole family is real weird. Most people that spend time with them say this is, social workers might consider incest in this family. Is there violence in this family? Something's up with this family. But I mentioned to you that he talked in the hot tub about punishing a girl by anally violating her in front of Wendi and I, bragging about the fact that he'd hurt this girl because she had got him in an uncomfortable situation. So he came off like an offender to me. He came off like a, kind of sociopathic, like, this is strange. He just met me. He's telling me this. It was really, really weird.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I know. I'm just trying to rein you in a little bit
ahead,
so I can make sure I get it right.
Yeah,
I do recall something about a hot tub.
Yeah.
But I think it may have been something I read from Corey Hale's report.
It might have been. Yeah, I talked to him.
But are you saying you're in the hot tub after the Immokalee retreat?
Exactly. We went from Immokalee to Miami and hung out with her brother.
Okay.
For the first time.
So you're in Miami at his place, I guess?
Exactly. It's very wealthy. He's got a really nice house in Miami Beach area.
Miami Beach.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're there and you're in the hot tub.
Yeah.
She's in the hot tub.
Yeah.
And the brother Charlie's in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Okay.
Charlie's talking about punishing girls through anally violating them in front of his sister. It's just.
Is it braggadocious?
Yeah. Like she got him punched out at a wedding. He had a Korean girlfriend and brought him as the only white guy to 400 Korean people and just him. Some of the men took offense and he got punched out.
Charlie did.
Yeah, so the way he handled that was to anally violate her and then brag about it the next day. I mean, it was really, really weird.
That had happened the day before y'all got in the hot tub?
No, I misspoke there. It was pretty recent. It wasn't that day, but
Okay.
It was last month, the last couple of weeks, something like that.
So he goes to a Korean wedding as the only Anglo.
Yeah, exactly.
And some men took offense because he was a date for one of the Korean girls that was at the wedding.
Exactly. And he got punched.
And he probably opened his mouth or something.
He says he got sucker punched, but I don't know.
Okay, so he gets, and so his way of getting retribution is the girl that brought him to the wedding is to rape her? Or
not rape. It wasn't rape. It was consensual sex, but he was bragging about the fact that he made it hurt a lot and that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
And that was just
that was anal penetration he's bragging about.
And it was 20 minutes after I met him.
I got you.
So I'm just like, this is not normal. This is strange. Guys will talk to their guy friends. Although I've never said anything like that, I would never want to hurt a woman. It's, so it's...
Tell her, yeah. Like
He
that
had
was
to.
him. Yeah, of course.
He could not.
I
He called it
totally
a
believe
celebration dinner.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I wanted to talk about that.
Like he really did say, I have no doubt that I can hear it. I see it in my mind. I see him sitting down and saying, "Oh, we're going to have a celebration dinner."
But I see that too. I feel that I could be in a situation similar.
I could totally see it. And I think she probably did puke because of the fact that she's guilty. Like it was a guilt puke. Because even if Wendi even if she didn't ask for it, even if she didn't she didn't pull the trigger, even if brother Charlie was like, "I'm taking all of this. Don't put this on your shoulders." It's because of her that he is dead.
That's true.
Right? There's no world where if Wendi doesn't exist, Dan is not, he's walking around. So why would you puke? Because you feel guilt. That's why you puke at the table.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she was really also drinking and whatever.
Yeah, but yes, I think.
But she's not the princess that he makes her out to be on the stand, which is funny. She doesn't drink at all. I mean, which is the whole thing. But anyway, that's how come I hear you and I was with you all the way.
I actually wrote down on my notes, it says, "There's no world where Charlie Adelson didn't tell her." It says that right there. It's great.
It's true. There's no world.
I forget things that I feel like when I'm watching. So I'm like, all right, if we're gonna talk about this, I gotta write stuff down because I get so crazy.
Totally.
And I'm like, oh, at my point, but that is so funny. Yeah, definitely. I guess I must have been feeling that way. But as far as nobody else has implicated her in any way in all of this with all these people and all these trials.
Well, what do you mean by it depends on what you mean by
implicate. I guess there's questions whether Lewis always refers to the lady.
Yeah, Wendi. He talks. It's really funny how he talks about her. The lady.
So I believe he was about to leave.
Who was about to leave?
Markel.
About to leave town?
Yeah.
How did you get that information?
I got it from Tudo.
Where did he get the information?
From Katie.
How did she know?
Wendi.
You think Wendi talked to Katie and told her Dan Markel's travel plans?
Yeah.
The woman who wanted him to be killed was Wendi Adelson, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
It was she wanting her children, correct?
Absolutely.
Do you know where she got the money from?
Yeah, the people.
Who are the people?
The dentist. I called them the dentist at that time.
The dentist?
Like Wendi and her brother.
I know your purpose was money.
Yeah.
But whoever did the hiring had a different purpose, right?
Yes.
And what was your understanding of that purpose?
For the kids.
To get these kids.
Get the kids back.
Okay. And do you know any more about that? Which family member did what and whose kids they were or anything like that?
No, I don't think I know their kids was Wendi.
Of switching it from a murder to a robbery.
Me.
And what was your suggestion?
My suggestion was to go back and rob the lady.
And who's the lady?
Wendi.
Okay, because did you believe at that time that Wendi was the one that had this money to pay for the murder?
Yes, ma'am.
The blonde,
Yeah,
the blonde,
yeah.
he calls her, the
Yeah.
blonde.
But at first, it's very unclear whether he's talking about her or
Or
Donna.
Donna.
Yeah, like that was very unclear. At
Oh,
least
that's
to me in the
interesting.
beginning, like because so it was like, is it the lady? The lady, it was a Donna, but then he refers to the lady as the kid's mom.
She's the blonde.
Yeah, totally.
I hear what you're saying at first because I had that same
no,
thought.
but now that I know that more information, like years later, I know that that's not true. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know it's that he was talking about Wendi. There's no doubt.
He was talking
there's
about
no
Wendi.
doubt. Yeah. No, I feel bad, man.
I
feel
do
bad.
too.
I feel
do too.
bad for them because I do and I don't.
Well, he made out like he actually did the best of anybody.
Yeah, but I also feel like he had genuinely the most remorse. I mean, they went the first time, and I believe that he couldn't do it. Neither one of them were ready to pull the trigger, is what I believe.
The first time.
Yeah, they say they were just like looking out, but I don't think so.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
right.
That they were supposed to kill him, and then when they got back, they
were like, "Well, nah, man, we don't want to do this."
And but they were pissed, and I think they were like, "No, you're going to do this now. You're in."
Yeah. So there is a question for me, and I'm with you on this. They keep implying that they had WhatsApp and that they must have been communicating on WhatsApp, but there does not appear to be documents, or if there are, how come we never see them?
I know, and there's all these other apps that they were supposedly communicating on. I don't get that either.
Because if they were, wouldn't we see the receipts?
I don't know. I wonder that too. There's a lot of things that I wonder. That's why it makes me wonder if, as far as Wendi is concerned, that they maybe knew from the beginning, like, we're going to forfeit Wendi
to get all these other people,
to get everybody else, because they do believe maybe that she is the least culpable.
And that they needed her testimony to convict everybody else.
But a lot of people say how, like, the biggest thing that I've seen as far as her guilt is this was all for her. Like,
I know she's the beneficiary.
And you can tell that she knew that by she changes the kid's name immediately and moves to Southern Florida, which is
exactly where she wanted to go with her
she
parents.
Wanted full custody of those kids, and she wanted to be in South Florida.
And her parents had already bought her an apartment.
Yeah, that's bad.
The one that they were trying out. They bought an apartment in one of the most expensive buildings on South Beach. Have you been to South Beach?
Yes.
Okay. On South Beach. A-Rod is in their building.
I know, that's awesome.
Right? Beautiful building. I know exactly where this is, right? Because I stayed on that strip at one time once. And was sitting at a bar next to A-Rod, in fact. I turned to my right and there he was, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah,
it's like
that's
this
awesome.
Gorgeous apartment in South Beach, and there's no question. Charlie's like, oh yeah, the story they tell is the parents bought this apartment to try it out to see if they liked it for their retirement.
Yeah, I knew they got to try it out. Yeah,
right. It's like no. They bought this apartment for Wendi and her children to live in when they get here.
Because they were not going to let him win. They were never going to.
No,
I think that I think Donna
that's a good point.
Really, yeah, I think she really has like a personality type that a lot of people have a hard time understanding. Like I think it was.
You're right.
I think she has an awful lot of control over her children.
You're right.
And that look at the one that got away, right?
I know.
Like, he went away from them.
I know.
And he looks stressed out. Like he doesn't look.
I know.
But like, right?
I know.
He just looks like. And I know that,
he's
like,
devastated.
Like, and then they say estranged, like he's estranged because he
not
like. Why do they keep using
Jackie,
that word?
He spoke to them once a week.
Once a week. I swear. I'm like, what's estranged?
You know, like no, that's not estranged. It's not estranged.
I know.
He's estranged in Donna's mind. Did you hear about how Donna used to talk about him?
That's what I mean. Yes.
That's estranged, but they are not estranged.
Right, but I say that because it's almost like I think because she is like bitter that he like cut the cord.
Absolutely. Of course she is. Of course she is.
Wendy's coming up, was flying up Friday with Wendi, and she'll stay with us till Monday. She has to go back on Monday. So she'll be there for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday, I think, to an evening, she'll fly back. And then we'll be up there till the following Saturday.
Are you going to stay in Philadelphia the whole time? Or?
Yeah, Most likely. I mean, at some point I will let Robert know that we're going up there, but I don't know whether we'll see him or not. So we'll see. We'll play that by ear, but probably I'll stay in Philadelphia. Give him the opportunity to drive a few hours and see us, which he won't do.
Right.
So that's going to be my offer, you know?
Yeah, no, it's,
Yeah.
listen, they come to Naples and they come to Orlando.
Right.
And
They get off at the Fort Lauderdale airport and don't say, can you meet us up in this area before we drive to Naples? Which you know I would do.
think of that.
Mhm.
Fly to Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They don't fly into Naples. They fly into Fort Lauderdale.
Ooh.
Yeah. How'd you like that? When I first spoke to them one time, and he said, oh, yeah, we just got into the car and we're headed out to Naples. I said, well, where are you? He said, Fort Lauderdale. I said, why didn't you tell me? I would have come and met you up in Fort Lauderdale and we can have lunch there before you drive out to Naples. Oh, I didn't think about it. No, you don't think about anything to do with anybody except yourself. So, of course, you don't think about it.
It's not that he didn't think. Well,
Isn't that nice?
I'll give you a newsflash.
Oh, I don't need a newsflash, believe me.
It's not that they didn't think about
Yeah.
it. It's that they didn't want to do it.
I'm gonna and it's holding like this sort of grudge, like little, like always gonna kind of hold it there.
Of course, and
Right?
his way of dealing with that was to shut down and
run,
abscond.
Yep. And
Take off.
And it looks like he found a woman that was like could hold him down and help him
Exactly.
break
He
the
found
chains.
another. He attached to
Because
her.
Imagine marrying somebody with imagine that was your mother-in-law.
Yeah. No. I mean, she almost won.
Yeah.
She almost won.
She
I mean, he
almost
did marry the Jew for a couple of years, the Jewish woman. He did
Yeah.
marry her. I think they lasted 2 years, I think, if that. But Donna won at first. You know,
Yeah.
he broke up with Haritha. He married the nice Jewish girl, you know, and then he said, I can't do this, and went back to Haritha. The family, again, they embraced her. Donna
Yeah.
accepted it, right? But that's why she never was going to push Charlie to get married, because she didn't want to lose
She didn't
Charlie.
want him. She didn't want him to.
You don't want competition. You don't want a
No.
wife in the picture. Then I'm going to lose my son. And
Yeah, no.
Charlie was dependent on her for everything.
Oh yeah. There's no way.
I mean, they were like freaking frack, her and
Yeah. Yeah.
And listen, to give her credit, I do not know a single person that could sit on the phone with Charlie Adelson the way that woman sits on the phone.
I know. And oh my God, what does he say over and over?
And she's listening. She's
What
listening.
does this he say? Like, he says something. I know. And she's like, yeah.
She's right
like,
there.
Something about the Victoria's Secret model or something.
Oh, I know.
Oh, there's a few things he says.
Yeah, so that's
like
when he's
wow.
still out of jail. Those
Yeah.
are calls like
Yeah,
before
yeah.
he goes. Oh yeah, he just talks and talks and
He
talks.
says a few things that I heard while he was incarcerated that were pretty crazy too. Just general, like nothing that would get him in trouble, like with the law anymore. But
Right, but just like dickheads.
just like
He's
to
a
give
dickhead.
you an insight of kind of who he is and he like how he sees the world. I mean, and they come from it's just twisted. It's really interesting though how like what's so funny is how she's now spending the rest of her life like probably get moved all over, but for a while was living in Tallahassee. She hates it so much.
Wait, who?
Donna.
Oh, that's right. Because she's like,
Being
you mean in jail?
Yeah.
That's true. That's very funny.
Now
She's
she'll
gonna be
get-
fine in jail,
Yeah,
Donna.
yeah.
But
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
she'll be
not.
fine.
I'm not that concerned. I mean, yeah, she's like 75.
she'll be
dead in
fine.
10 years.
She's had a great life. She'll just
Yeah,
have a bunch
I
of daughters.
said that too. I'm like, dude, this woman had a balls out life.
She did.
I might take that trade, to be honest.
Right.
Could plan it out a little bit better, maybe.
You'd have to see it all the way through. I mean, it depends on how many years she's in there for, I guess. But
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I mean, and she still probably can talk to Charlie. I'm sure they still talk.
Yeah, I'm sure there's ways, and
I'm sure
especially
there's
once you're like in prison and doing like your
And they still have
sentence.
money.
Yep.
Right? They still have the money. Nobody
They
gets
still
to
have
take that
Harvey.
away. They still have Harvey. Yep. They
He's
also
the-
have financial
He's
people
like the
overseeing everything.
breadwinner.
Right. No, they have the money. I mean, they
Right.
have plenty of money.
That's why I'm like, they kept the breadwinner and they kept the mom of the kids. So even though they're in
They did.
jail, they
It's true.
win. They're like, you know what I'm saying?
In a
Like,
way, they do.
really like, and they're famous.
That's true. I'm not sure that that's helping them very much
No,
right now, but
infamous
maybe.
for, but I
Yeah.
don't know. I just seems like Charlie, like it's not just
Well, I don't think Wendi, I mean, knowing her character, Wendy's probably like needs to go to rehab, is my guess
I
at this
hope
point.
that'd be a good place for her because she should be hiding.
It's true.
Like imagine being her right now and like
No.
that's. I mean, I wouldn't even be able to. My anxiety would be through the roof.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's how she lives every day.
I'd be eating like Xanax like candy. I'd be a zombie.
That's
I don't
what
know how
she's
I
doing.
would live.
Correct.
And I would hide from the world, and I wouldn't turn on my phone or the TV. I would just hide in some little town.
I guess at one point she was seen, where was this? I don't know where I heard it, but like, I guess she was seen like, I think was it in Miami? Somewhere like out at all the bars, out clubbing.
Yeah, at one point, but then something happened and I don't know.
That was at one point. I don't know at what point exactly that was. It's been a long 10 years, right? So it could have been at any point along the way. But
God
I think
knows
now
that they have eyes on her.
They have eyes on her. And
at all times.
When you look at her now, I mean, just looking at the way she's changed even in the last 2 years, just her face, because these are people that are very obviously vain, certainly, as like a priority.
Yeah, I'd say that's like a baseline in the DNA baseline.
As a baseline, right?
Yeah.
And
that's part of like totally relatable though to that.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, look, there's a lot of relatability. Like there's just a lot, all of it. I mean, everything about that.
That's why it makes it. That's where I come from because I feel like I would relate the most in the situation,
right,
to Wendi, and so it's like maybe that's why I feel so like protective of. Like,
I know a lot of people do. Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't want to be. I don't like. I'm not necessarily like, oh, like.
It took me a month to come around because I was with you. I was like, well, I didn't. It wasn't like I felt bad for her. It was just I am overly identified with her in some way.
Yeah, like you go, girl. Get
right, like
yours.
she's likable. There's something likable about her.
Like
absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, like go ride off into the sunset with your kids.
Right. That's why I think. But the way that they painted Dan also. So that's the other part of the problem is. Yeah. She really hated him. And then when you hear people that liked him, like he maybe wasn't the monster that she saw him as, but he was to her a monster.
Right. Yeah. And I understand that because I like listening to what, think about it. That sucks. Of course that's going to drum up all sorts of stuff. Like, and that should be relatable to a lot of people just in general, but
hard to see though, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're the person who sees that person like the monster, like they are a scary monster, and he was about to come after her again.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah.
I mean, I believe Jeff when he said he was running interference for them. Like she was terrified every time she saw him. Her whole body would shake.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they ended up killing him because in the end, she was physically so
she couldn't deal with it.
She couldn't take him anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's the only reason why she's still walking around is because her mother and brother have two big mouths that can't shut up.
Yeah.
And she does the opposite.
She does the opposite.
She doesn't say a word.
Yeah, she's smart.
She's smart. She put a boundary between her mother. As soon as Charlie got arrested, she wouldn't talk to her mother about it at all. And mom was flipping out.
Yeah.
Mom like lost her mind. Like, I'm not going to talk about the case. She could not. When her daughter, like she admits, like, this is the one I love the most, and she's pulling away from me. Why is God doing this to me? It was Wendi pulling away that made Donna ultimately completely lose.
Yes, that totally makes sense.
Yeah,
that totally makes sense because she, I think that's another part of it too. Like, I think maybe she, was kind of had enough of this lady being because. Maybe had she not been so forceful in her feelings in the divorce, maybe he wouldn't have ended up coming after her so hard.
Of course not. He wouldn't want to.
Right. Exactly. So I think what he did was harsh, and she regrets
that's a really interesting point, right? Like Donna was so because even Wendi admits that she would never have left. Like Wendi admits, if it wasn't for my family, I never would have left him. Saying like I didn't have the strength to leave him without them.
Right.
But actually, what you're saying is probably also true, which is, I was on autopilot doing what they were saying.
Yeah.
Like at one point, Wendy's not even. She's just forwarding the emails to the lawyer
immediately.
Yeah, she's not even looking at them. She's just forwarding. And Dawn is like texting everybody. Now the truth is out there. Did you see that?
Yes. And that when they got arrested.
Yes. Well, when
The hitman guy?
when Charlie's verdict, when Charlie was on trial and Charlie's lawyer was telling, after Charlie testified, Charlie's lawyer brings out the whole story about the extortion, and Dawn is busy texting everybody she knows. Now the truth is out there. I'm so glad the truth is out there. I've been wanting the truth to be out there forever. The story about the extortion, because Donna was in on that with him.
Right.
And the whole thing was like, we couldn't tell anybody because we were being extorted. Right? That was like the story. Like she bought into the Charlie ridiculous stuff, the stupid, we were extorted. And that's why they're both so shocked that they're, oh my God, what do you mean? Like we were extorted. I think they're still running with that.
They need to just run with the truth.
Would they be better off? But they'll never, never, not now, and not in 100 years from now. Neither Donna nor Charlie will ever tell the truth.
I know. Do you think they're going to bring any charges on Wendi? Because I do believe she knew. I think she had knowledge. But after talking to you, I don't know, Sam. I think you might be right that her immunity, it was a real gamble. But I think that was them saying, we're not going to go after you, but they're going to keep her on her toes.
That's the thing.
Necessarily letting her know.
I don't see how they are. In order to answer the question you're asking, I think I'd have to, and I don't know enough about the law to really say definitively, but if I went back and I'd have to write down every topic that they ask Wendi about across all 3 trials and say, okay, this topic is off the list. You can't charge her on that. You can't use that in her trial. You can't use that in her trial.
That's a great idea.
You can't use that in her trial. What's left?
That's a great idea.
If you take all those things off the table at the end, whatever you have, that's going to be whether or not Wendi Adelson is going to be charged with a crime.
And I would imagine that her immunity deal is some sort of, you could probably find the exact
Oh yeah. Because it's immunity that comes if you are subpoenaed.
If they bring prosecution or something.
Right. If the prosecution subpoenas you, you cannot be tried, or that whatever you tell them can't be used against you.
Can't use against you. Right. So anything she said on the stand.
That's right. So anything she said in any of her trials. Right. This is how smart Wendi is, by the way.
Yeah, that is pretty genius.
It's pretty genius because now across all 3 trials, any of those topics, anything she said, can't be used against her.
I know. It's wild.
It can be used against her in the court of public opinion.
Right.
It can't be used against her in law.
And they don't, and it's bad enough that they don't really have any concrete evidence.
Right.
If that comes out, then it's a different story. But I don't think they're going to find it because I don't think it exists. Unless they can find
cellular act. The only thing I think that indicts them is if there is some WhatsApp that says it's done.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
If there's that and her cell phone says she's outside of Dan's house, around on Trescott.
Yeah.
Then she's guilty and going to jail. Because they did not bring, and that's the only thing. That may be, because if they have that and they didn't bring that up, because they can hold that against her later.
That's true.
That could be.
That's true. That is true. There could be things. That could be. But I think that
would be it, though. I mean, it would have to be something like that straightforward.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's what I would need. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I would need, especially if I don't have any of the other evidence. You can't bring in any of the stuff she testified to. So just a quick glance at the topics that are covered in Wendi's testimony during Donna's trial alone include Wendi's relationship with Dan, the separation, the divorce, and Donna's involvement in the divorce, anger, name-calling, gibbers, how Wendi felt about Dan Markel, Dan's response to the relocation motion, Donna's crazy activity, those emails that go back and forth, the post-litigation divorce, the post-litigation activity, the Miami apartment, the fact that they were occupants on the Miami apartment, the so-called grandma motion where Dan is trying to, control how much Donna can see the kids, her relationship with her brother, the TV, the fact that, the TV was cheaper than hiring a hitman, the so-called celebration dinner, her relationship with Jeff Lacasse, her relationship with Catherine McBanawa, Harvey's birthday, the invitations, the kids' name changes, who paid the repairman or the Geek Squad, her actions on the day of the murder, including her trips or shortcut across Trescott, Wendy's police interviews, any plot to kill Dan, her close relationship with her mother, the fact that Donna was a good mother, who Danny was, any job opportunity in Miami, the so-called $1 million bribe the family was considering, any petition for relocation, any of the changings of the children's last names, purchasing a home after the divorce, any plan to leave Dan, how she left Dan, problems at the wedding, relocation hearing. I mean, none of these things would be able to be brought up in her trial. When all is said and done, none of these topics, none of this stuff can be used against her. And because Georgia Kappelman, who knows that better than anybody, has basically covered every topic that you would use to indict her, certainly in a case where you are predominantly relying on circumstantial evidence, there is fundamentally no way that she can be prosecuted on almost any of the topics that would implicate her in this crime. So unless the prosecutor is withholding not circumstantial evidence, but actual legitimate evidence, they have absolutely no case. And for that reason, I can't imagine how it's possible that the state of Florida has any case to bring against Wendi Adelson. And they must have known that and made the deal with the devil long ago. Long ago, Georgia Kappelman must have known that she was never bringing charges against Wendi. Now, I'm not a lawyer. So maybe there's some way around immunity that I don't know about. And please, if there is, let me know. I love being wrong. It's one of my favorite things to be because I learned something new, and that's why I'm here, right? Because that's who I am as a person. Like growing, learning new information is essentially my purpose in this world. So I am happy to be wrong. If you are an attorney and you have information that disputes what I am saying, please let me know. But just from a common sense perspective, I can't imagine how they have enough to convict Wendi if all of the topics that she's been asked about across all these trials are off limits.
It is the defense counselor's duty to protect the rights of the individual, as it is the prosecution's duty to uphold and defend the laws of the state. Justice for all. Only we have a problem here.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. I see the world through eyes covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.